We're talking about millionaire drivers hurling themselves around corners at 200 miles per hour while having philosophical debates over team radio. And at the center of it all, a kid from Stevenage who grew up to become the most successful driver in F1 history. Buckle up, because this story has more twists than Monaco's hairpin turn. The Stevenage Dreamer. Our story begins in Stevenage, England, in 1985. Now, Stevenage isn't exactly known as a motorsport hotbed. It's more famous for roundabouts and being really, really ordinary. But Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton was about to put this sleepy town on the map in the most extraordinary way. Lewis's dad, Anthony, was working multiple jobs. Everything from IT support to putting up railings, just to fund his son's karting career. We're talking about a man who would work all week, then spend weekends at muddy go-kart tracks, watching his 8-year-old son battle kids whose parents owned small countries. And here's where it gets emotional. Anthony once said he had to choose between having a social life and supporting Lewis's racing. Guess what he chose? That's right, no more pub nights for dad. Meanwhile, little Lewis is out there lapping other kids like he's playing a different sport entirely. The family was so committed, they literally mortgaged their house to keep Lewis racing. Most parents worry about paying for violin lessons. The Hamiltons were out here gambling the family home on their son's ability to turn left really, really fast. At 13, Lewis walked up to McLaren boss Ron Dennis at an awards ceremony and said, "Hi, I'm Lewis Hamilton. One day I want to race for McLaren in Formula One." Ron basically patted him on the head and said, "Sure, kid, get in line." But plot twist, Ron actually remembered him. A year later, McLaren signed Lewis to their driver development program. Imagine being 14 and having your dream job already lined up. Most teenagers can't even decide what to have for breakfast, and Lewis had his entire career mapped out. The pressure was insane. Everyone expected him to be the next big thing. But here's the kicker. Lewis was often the only black driver at these events. He wasn't just representing himself. He was representing possibility for an entire community that had never seen themselves in Formula One. The rookie sensation. Fast forward to 2007, Lewis Hamilton's Formula One debut with McLaren. Now most rookies are happy if they don't crash and maybe score a point or two. Lewis, this man decided to finish third in his very first race. That's like showing up to your first day at a new job and immediately getting promoted. But wait, it gets better. By his 9th race, he won his first Grand Prix in Canada. The celebrations were wild. Lewis was crying. His dad was crying. Half of Britain was crying. It was like watching someone win the lottery, except the lottery was traveling at 200 miles per hour and required superhuman reflexes. The 2007 season was basically Lewis Hamilton's coming out party to the world. He finished second in the championship in his rookie year, losing by just 1 point. Most people need years to learn their job properly. Lewis nearly won the whole thing on his first try. That's not talent. That's borderline supernatural. And can we talk about his teammate that year? Fernando Alonso, a 2-time world champion who probably expected to mentor the new kid. Instead, Lewis was out there matching him point for point. Poor Fernando must have felt like a teacher getting schooled by their student on day one. The championship heartbreak and triumph. The 2008 season was pure soap opera. Lewis was battling Felipe Massa for the championship, and it all came down to the final race in Brazil. Picture this, it's raining. Lewis needs to finish 5th or better, and with 5 corners to go, he's in 6th place. The Hamilton family was watching from the pit wall, probably experiencing every emotion known to humanity in the span of 30 seconds. Then, boom! Lewis passes Timo Glock on the final corner, and becomes world champion. The man literally won his first title in the last corner of the last lap of the last race. Hollywood scriptwriters wished they could write drama this good. At 23, Lewis became the youngest Formula One world champion at the time. More importantly, he became the first black driver to win the championship. This wasn't just a personal victory. This was history being made at 200 miles per hour. The wilderness years. But then came what I like to call the McLaren struggle years. From 2009 to 2012, Lewis was stuck in cars that were about as competitive as a bicycle in a motorcycle race. These were dark times for Hamilton fans. Imagine having Usain Bolt, but making him run in concrete shoes. Lewis won races here and there, but the championship was basically impossible. It's like being the best chef in the world, but having to cook with a broken oven and ingredients from 1995. Frustrating doesn't even begin to cover it. But here's what separated Lewis from other drivers. He never gave up pushing. Even in uncompetitive cars, he was wringing performance out of them that physics said shouldn't exist. Engineers were probably looking at telemetry data wondering if their equipment was broken. The man was so desperate for a good car, he was probably dreaming about Mercedes engines. Little did he know, those dreams were about to become reality. The Mercedes gamble. In 2013, Lewis made the most criticized decision of his career, leaving McLaren for Mercedes. Everyone thought he'd lost his mind. McLaren was a proven winner. Mercedes was, well, let's just say they were struggling harder than a vegetarian at a barbecue competition. 2013 announcement and skeptical media coverage. The critics were savage. Hamilton's career is over. He chose money over winning. This is the worst decision since someone thought pineapple belonged on pizza. The man was getting roasted harder than a coffee bean, but Lewis saw something others didn't. Mercedes had Niki Lauda whispering in his ear about their upcoming engine regulations. Sometimes you have to bet on the future, and boy, did this bet pay off. His first season with Mercedes in 2013, one win, not exactly inspiring. Lewis was probably wondering if he'd made the biggest mistake of his life. The pressure was immense. Imagine changing jobs and your new boss constantly asking, "So, when are you going to justify our investment?" The Silver Arrow's domination. Then came 2014, and Mercedes unleashed the most dominant car in Formula One history. The W05 was so fast, other teams were probably checking if it was legal. Lewis and his teammate Nico Rosberg didn't just win races, they lapped the entire field like they were playing a different sport. 2014 domination montage with epic wins. Lewis won his second championship, and suddenly, all those critics were very quiet. It's amazing how winning makes people forget their previous hot takes. The man went from washed up to genius strategist in the span of one season. But the real drama was just beginning. Because what happens when you put two alpha drivers in dominant cars? You get the most intense teammate rivalry in F1 history.